30 June 2020, and today I want to take you through two court cases that Nelson Chamisa lost last week at the High Court before Justice Mangota. So it's very sad what happened in court, because the two cases that the MDC Alliance brought were dismissed, and the way they were dismissed shows that the lawyers did not do a good job. And in the court, the judge said that Nelson Chamisa's lawyers lied and were manipulative. So the two court cases, I'll give you the lawyers after, but they were heard before Justice Mangota. They were filed on the 4th of June, but they were heard on the 12th of June. And the judge said the lawyers, they did not understand, the lawyers for Nelson Chamisa did not understand the difference between physical occupation of Harvest House and legal occupation. So what Nelson Chamisa and the MDC Alliance were trying to do, they were trying to get MDCT evicted. So that is Douglas Monzora, Thokozani Khuphe, all the people that were sitting there inside who took over on the 4th of June. They wanted these people to be evicted, and Nelson Chamisa and his MDC Alliance wanted to come back into the building. So they brought two court cases. One case was brought by the workers. The other case was brought by Charlton Wende, MDC Alliance, and Godfrey Cotton. And it was against a whole bunch of people who I'm going to give you at the end. So the judge dismissed the case, the two cases. They were combined together. He dismissed the two cases, and I'm going to give you the reasons now. Number one, MDCT, so that is the key points that he made, was in possession of Harvest House. Since its formation, MDCT had an agreement with the owners of Harvest House, so that is MDC Changirai. Possession of the building, Harvest House, has never been with the people in the building. The applicants focused on physical as opposed to legal possession. The applicants failed to realize that the juristic person, and not them as individuals, possessed the property. MDCT had a lease from 1999, and this lease ended in June 2020. Right. None of the annexures, so there were annexures which were provided by people who supported MDC Alliance. So the judge said none of the annexures shows that the directors of Harvest House passed a resolution to move legal possession from MDCT to MDC Alliance on a specific date. So MDCT was never shown the annexures. So if you cancel a lease, you can't just cancel it privately, which means MDC Changirai was supposed to be shown all the annexures that were purportedly written by the trustees. So MDCT was never shown these annexures. Now let's go to another important point. The MDC Alliance annexures were dated on the 5th of June 2020, and yet the MDC took over on the night of 4 June 2020. So you can't say there was spoliation when your annexures are dated after the day when you were supposed to have been spoiled. So spoliation does not arise. Now let's go to the lying. MDC Alliance lied about soldiers and police involvement in the takeover of Harvest House and contradicted themselves. So the judge said in the agent papers that the MDC Alliance filed, there was contradictions between the two cases. So what the other case said was different from what the other case said. And he said that the soldiers were actually just doing their job, which was to keep peace during the lockdown. Right, then let's continue with the lying. Employees who filed the second case, so there were two cases, as I said to you. The employees who filed the second case did not disclose that they were employees of MDC Alliance. So they just put themselves as people who are occupying the building, which was a lie, according to this judge. The judge said he's not buying that these people are just there, when it turned out that they are actually employees of MDC Alliance. So he says neither the police nor soldiers were involved in the spoliation. And another key point that was made in this court case is that there was a peace order that was there, which had been obtained by Douglas Monzora against Chamisa's camp, and the police had the right to come and keep peace because there was a peace order. I also wanted to make a note that in this judgment, Justice Mangota says MDC Alliance is a juristic person, and that's why this peace order was valid. It was one juristic person against another. Very, very interesting, because I said this again the last time. Right, let us now go to the outcome. The ruling was that the two cases were dismissed and the costs were paid by the respondents. The reason why the costs were paid by the respondents was a form of punishment, because Maduku filed his papers very, very late. He ambushed the applicants. That is what the judge said. And in my conclusion, I want to say Chamisa is now in a very precarious situation. I know we all love Chamisa, but let me explain. Chamisa no longer has an office. He has lost Harvest House. He is very soon going to lose assets, other assets. I'm going to come back and give you more information very, very soon. He's also likely going to get arrested after an audit. This is something that, if it is found out that Chamisa has withdrawn funds and signed for them, he's going to end up getting arrested because of that. And there is more. There's more which is coming. And time is moving. I would have thought, and I would have wanted a situation where there was negotiation between the various parties. So the way things are going now, I'm not very happy with it. But let me show you now the lawyers, and then we'll continue obviously with my opinion on another date. And let's look at the lawyers. So for the applicants was Muchade Hama and Mike. So obviously for the government people and also for the MDC people. For the respondents, there was Maduku, who was responding in both cases. There was also Kadoko and Marema. Some of these people were responding for the military, some for the police. Then let's look at the applicants and the respondents. I said MDC Alliance was Charlton Wende, Godfrey Cotton, and MDC Alliance, the first one. And then the respondents was Tendai Mcheka Hanzu, Friday Mleya, Paul Gorekore, Douglas Monzora, Morgan Komichi, MDCT, Minister of Home Affairs, Commissioner General of Police, and Minister of Defense. So that is the first case, which was HC 2811/20. And then the second case was HC 2813/20. The applicants were Washington Gaga, Chancellor Nyamande, Kudakwashe Matibiri, Edith Sana Masamanyika, David Javamwe Shambare. And the respondents were the Commissioner General of Police, Commander of the Defense Forces, Friday Mleya, Paul Gorekore, Tendai Macheka Hanzu. So this case, you can see that there's no MDCT, there's no Monzora in the second case. So what the judge said was, these guys were trying to trick the court. They wanted to say if one case failed, then they'll go on with another one, which the court said was dishonest and manipulative. The court found that the MDC Alliance was lying. They were trying to cheat the court, and they did not look at this in a good light, which is why MDC Alliance lost this case, the court was also very unhappy that inside their papers, the MDC Alliance almost were in contempt of the Supreme Court because they were starting to say things about the Supreme Court, about ZANU-PF proxies in their papers. And the judge said he just looked away. He didn't want to throw away the case because of that reason. But Maduku had said, these guys are in contempt, throw away this case. So I hope you got a better understanding of how Nelson Chamisa lost Harvest House. And as I said from the very beginning of this case, the best approach for me would be for these two sides to talk. Thokozani Khuphe, Douglas Monzora, Morgan Komichi, Nelson Chamisa, Tendai Biti. These are all heroes of the opposition. These guys need to come together, talk, and form a coalition against ZANU-PF. Look what has happened in Malawi. They lost in the first round when they were competing individually. When they united, they won. There is nothing better than winning because it's good for all Zimbabweans. I don't know why these guys are not seeing this simple fact. To me, it's very, very simple. But I'm not Chamisa, I'm not Khuphe, I'm not Biti, I'm not Komichi, I'm not Monzora. These guys, they have to go this process. But finally, I know they'll sit down and talk because the whole Zimbabwean nation is looking for these guys to unite and win and take over from ZANU-PF. So this is what I had for today. If you are watching this on WhatsApp, send it to as many people as possible. If you're watching this on YouTube and Facebook, please like, comment, and share.